35-40. Midfield, McFadden breaks a tackle. He's gone! 10-5, touchdown! Raiders!
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing.
What's going on, Raider Nation? My name is Pharaoh. Welcome to the Pharaoh NFL channel, where you're going to get Raider news, rumors, anything Raider related we're going to talk about here. Also, make sure to smack that like button, comment, and subscribe. Hey, it's very much appreciated. We need to push this algorithm so I can keep coming back with more content. And also, you know, I like to hear your opinions. I mean, I want to hear what you guys have to say about whether the video we're talking about, whether anything that's going on with Raider Nation, the Raiders. Let me know whether you disagree, agree, doesn't matter. Everything is welcomed. That being said, what I'm here to talk about today is Josh Mcdaniels being hired as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. And you know, when I first heard the news, you know, I thought about it and I was like, damn. At first reaction was like, man, the Patriots, come on, man. Like, we could have got Jim Harbaugh. It would have been a safe head coach hiring right there, just based off his resume. He won with the Niners. I know if you're a Raider fan out here in the Bay Area, we seen what he did with the Niners. We seen what he did at Stanford, you know, and obviously he did pretty well with the Michigan Wolverines last year. But that being said, you know, you look at if you had some time to think about it and you just had time to let it set in, you know, that Josh McDaniels hire was pretty fire. I mean, just based off his resume, he won 6 Super Bowl rings. He was coaching that offense for the Patriots. You know, Bill Belichick was running that defense, but he best believe he was running that offense. And when I say running that offense, I mean Tom Brady had his best year with McDaniels. Matt Castle looked like a quarterback with McDaniels. You had, you know, Mac Jones, Rookie of the Year candidate. You know what I mean? Best quarterback by far last year coming out that draft. You know, I mean, just at least how he plays. I mean, moving forward, we won't know. But with playing with Josh McDaniels, he made him look pretty good last year. Also, you know, a lot of the NFL have been applauding this move because he's a respected NFL coach. You know, it speaks volumes that he keeps getting head coaching offers even after his first, you know, failure at head coach, even after his situation with the Colts. If you guys don't know, he left them at the altar. They thought the hire was official. He had all his coaches come with him, and then he had cold feet, or, you know, he probably wanted to run it back and win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady, and he pretty much went ahead and did that. But that's one of the reasons too, as well, is that this is such a great hire. Man, look, all those rings that he won with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I mean, he was running the offensive show. And when you hear other people in the media, but most importantly, the former players, when they talk about a head coach, especially ones out the game, they don't have to really talk. They don't really have to like butter up the media and talk about how good a coach they had and all that, because they're out the NFL. They have nothing to really gain to really kind of not say anything bad about a head coach. And one of the things that he went ahead, one of the players, I should say, that was, you know, given an opportunity to talk about Josh McDaniels was LeGarrette Blount. It's a very interesting quote. He goes on to say that as a play caller, you're probably getting hands down probably one of the best in the game, Blount said on the Raiders online series, The Inside Scoop. I think Josh's skill set when it comes to calling plays is unmatched. I mean, I know you get greats out there with the Andy Reeds and stuff like that, but man, I just think that with Josh, you can give him any kind of player and you give him any kind of quarterback, he's going to find a way to make that player successful for the greater good of the team. Really, really high praise. And it says a lot. I mean, that's what you heard when the Raiders hired him, that's what you heard in the press conference when Mark Davis was talking about him. And you hear former players talk about him in high regard as well, especially Garrett Blount, who had his best year with Josh McDaniels with over 1,100 yards and 18 touchdowns, which is crazy. And that was probably his one year that he had probably one other year where he had 1,000 yards, which is, crazy to think about, and tells you a lot about how Josh McDaniels knows how to use his personnel. And it gives you confidence as a Raider fan when you have players like Josh Jacobs, where we know who's talented, could play better, but we know he's talented. You got Kenyon Drake, who we know who's talented. We got a Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, players like that on offense, where if Josh McDaniels has a chance to build an offense around, the league needs to look out. And don't get me wrong, we are missing some pieces on the O-line. I would say maybe some outside receivers, but that quote right there, for him to compare Josh McDaniels to Andy Reid, where we know, like, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, man, it's no joke. I mean, like, Andy Reid just always has a game. He's always out coaching us on every level, whether it's defense. I mean, I know Andy Reid doesn't control the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, at least, he's out coaching us. And to at least level up that playing field with Josh McDaniels, that's going to be a huge hire if Josh McDaniels comes in here and does what he's supposed to be and be himself and not be Bill Belichick, because I think that's one of the reasons why it didn't work out in Denver, where he kind of admitted that he was, he wasn't ready. I mean, he probably went in there trying to be Bill Belichick when he was really supposed to be Josh McDaniels, and hopefully he grew, which I think he did. I mean, he was 32 years old when he took that job. But man, I'm looking at all the positives, not the negatives, with this head coach hire. And I also want to hit on another point, and I know I brought up, Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs, and how he, you hear it from a former player, like he could take any player and just make them good, pretty much. And look, as recently as last year, you have a Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. A Damian Harris and a Ramondre Stevenson combined for 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. So imagine Josh Jacobs, who's way more talented than any of those running backs that I just mentioned. And I would say Kenyon Drake as well. They might add another running back. Who knows? They might need a third down back, because, with Jalen Richard being a free agent, hopefully he comes back. I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank. He can play that role well. But it just makes you think that this offense is going to go to a whole different level next year. And I can't wait. So that's it for today. I mean, I'm going to talk about all the other front office hires, in future videos. But for now, Josh McDaniels, man, that was a home run all the way. And we'll talk about the home runs in the future vids. But all right, then, Raider Nation, peace out.
Just win, baby.